Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Maitri, and first of all, a very happy new year to you. It is 2022. Can you believe it? I mean, it is unbelievable on so many levels that the years are just passing like that, and I'm just still digesting the fact that 2020 got over and then 2021 got over and now we are in 2022. It's unbelievable. But I hope you had a great new year, however and wherever you celebrated it. I personally spent my year reading this book and I had the best time possible. Staying in bed with a cup of tea, reading this book. Oh my god. I love this book. I mean, this is just my kind of book. I read the first book in the trilogy, which is called The Hunger Games. I have never been glued to a book like I was to that one, and now I'm reading the second book. I am currently like more than halfway through, and I am just as glued to this book. This is one of the best pieces of literature I've ever read. This will be a classic in future. I'm sure this has to be a classic in future. This is just so good and I'm so in love with it, and I just want to read books like this, and this is what this video is about. It is about 22 books that I really hope to read in 2022. Many people have already read them, so they are not like new releases or anything. It's just books that I really want to read. So without any further ado, let's get right into the video. I am not going to go in depth because for most of them I do not really know what they are about. I just want to read because they are many people's favorites and I have been recommended those books over and over again, and I really want to read. I'm really intrigued by each of those. So I'm just going to list all the books that I want to read, and I hope that I can just get through those books this year. I'm first going to start with the books that I have the physical copies of. For most of the books I do not own a physical copy, but I will eventually, and some of those I wouldn't. But yeah, I am going to start with the books that I own. So the first book in my list is a book series, and it is the Shadow and Bone trilogy. It has been so popular throughout the last year and I really want to read it, and now I have the physical copy and I just can't wait to dive into it. I think I will start this right after I finish The Hunger Games. The second book series on my list is Aristotle and Dante Discovered the Secrets of the Universe. Again, a very popular book. I got it in the month of October and I'm really excited to finally read this. The next book on my list is Bridge of Clay. It is a very one of the thickest books that I own, and I had it for a long time but I never had the courage to pick it up. I don't know when I will pick it up, but I really want to get through it at some point in this year. I really want to read it because I have heard so much about the author and obviously the book Thief. I started the book Thief, but I did not have the courage to go on because obviously it was narrated by death and I wasn't ready for something like that at that point in my life. I got this one and I hope that I can read it. The fourth book series on my list is the Shiva trilogy by Amish Tripathi, a very popular Indian series. It's on the life of Shiva, obviously as the title suggests. I have had this one as well for a long time and I hope that I can finally read it. Those are all the books from my physical TBR that I want to read this year. Many of these books I have not read, but these are not like in my top 22 that I have to read. They are on my TBR, but I will read them after I'm finished reading these 22 books. It's always like this, no? Your physical TBR is always like staring at you like, why do we buy books that we are not going to read soon? I don't know. I'll never get it. But let's move on to the next book. The next book or book series on my list is Six of Crows trilogy. Again, a very popular book series. I will read it after I read Shadow and Bone. The sixth book on my list is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I read the beach read by her last year. I was going to say this year, but okay, last year, and I loved it. I have heard so many good things about this one as well, and I'm very excited to read it. The seventh book on my list is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I had originally included The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo in my list, but I have already started it. I started it in December last year, so I did not want to include books that I've already started in this video. So these are all the books that I have not even read a page of. So therefore I included Malibu Rising. It's just a representation of her books. Like, I want to read all of her backlist this year because Taylor Jenkins Reid gets me. Her words are so precious to me. Everything she writes, I am just so overwhelmed by my love for her writing. She just gets me, and I'm going to read every book by her I can this year. The 8th book on my list is Radio Silence by Alice Osman. I have read Heartstopper by her, and like, those are just graphic novels. So I'm really excited about what is going to be in like a full-length story by her, and therefore Radio Silence. The 9th book on my list is a book series called From Blood and Ash. It's a very popular book series. I just saw it everywhere in these last 3 months, and I'm really excited to get to it. The 10th book on my list is The Infernal Devices. I am including The City of Bones as well as Clockwork Princess series. Some people consider them two different series, but I'm just going for them combined. The Clockwork Princess trilogy is like the favorite book series of my favorite booktuber, which is Hannah from A Clockwork Reads, and I'm really excited to read that book. The 11th book on my list is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. Again, a favorite of so many people. Magical realism has to be on my list. The 12th book series on my list is the Selection series. I have never read it. I only saw it this year, and I just want to read it. I don't know if I will even like it, but I just want to try. The 13th book series on my list is An Amber in the Ashes. Again, I don't know anything about this book series. I have just heard so many good things about it. I'm so intrigued, and therefore I want to read it. Also, I'm realizing a lot of these books are like book series. So like, this year is going to be filled with book series. But yeah, I am excited for it. I love book series and very excited for these. The 14th book on my list is the biggest tearjerker from 2021, and that is The Song of Achilles. I saw it everywhere, literally on every feed, and I really want to read it. I didn't read it yet because I don't have the physical copy, but I hope that I can get it this year and finally read it. The 15th book on my list is Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I read One Last Stop by her and absolutely fell in love with her writing, and I cannot wait to read Red, White and Royal Blue. The 16th book on my list is Truly Devious. I have heard so many good things about it, and I am just very excited to read it. The 17th book on my list is again a book series, and it's called Shatter Me. Heard so many good things about it, can't wait to read. The 18th book on my list is again a very popular book series, and it's called Our Violent Delights. I am just going to repeat myself, say that I have heard so many good things about it, that I don't know anything about the book series except that it is widely loved by people, and I'm just intrigued. But yes, that is what it is. The 19th book on my list is The Gilded Wolves. It is a favorite of two of my friends, and I am again very excited to read it. The 20th book on my list is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Again, it is just a representation of all the Colleen Hoover books that I want to read. I have not read her since such a long time. I have not read any of her recent books like November 9, Ugly Love, It Ends With Us, and I really want to read it. I really want to get all the paperbacks and finally sit and read Colleen Hoover and cry my heart out. The 21st book on my list is Shadow of the Wind. I've heard that it's a book about book, or you can say stories about stories, and I really want to read such a book. I also think that it is set in some kind of library setting or something. I'm not sure, but what I know is that it has something to do with books itself, and I'm very excited for it. The 22nd and last book on my list is The Stationery Shop of Tehran by Marjan Kamali. and again it was recommended by Hannah on her channel, and I really love everything she recommends, therefore this is on the list. So those were all the books, all the 22 books that I hope to read this year. I am very excited for this reading year. I have set my reading goal to 30 books, because even if I achieve that, that is more than enough for me, because I will have exams and college and everything. But I hope that I can read at least 30 books, and I hope that they have these books that I have just listed. They are obviously more than 22, because more than half of them are book series, but I really hope that I can read all of these this year. Let me know, what are you very excited to read this year? Are any of these books on your list, or have you already read them? Let me know, I would love to know, and I'll see you again very soon with another video. This video will probably come later, like it's 2nd of January when I'm recording it. But I have my exam on the 8th of January, and I don't know if I will get enough time to edit and make the thumbnail and everything in these days. But yeah, whenever it does, I hope it finds you well, and that sounded like an email. But I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you again with another video very soon. Until then, take care, stay safe, and lots of love.